stories, but we hardly speak.
This was the moment, almost 30 years ago, in front of 8,000 people at the point and a TV audience of 200 million, that made Charlie McGettigan a Eurovision star.
Oh, I wish we could find those rock and roll days again.
But even before performing Rock and Roll Kids, Charlie had a few big hits under his belt.
Feet of the dancer, I hope you can sing in the rain.
With a career spanning over 40 years, he is still making music and releasing new songs today.
Oh, I hate dancing sober, 'cause I feel like such a fool. I'm a Liverpool loafer and they say I must be cool.
Charlie now lives in Drumshanbo in County Leitrim, but he grew up here in the town of Ballyshannon in County Donegal. And today he's taking me to various spots around the town that shaped him as a person. And what better place to start than the house where he grew up?
Well, that was the house where I grew up in. One of the Christmases that I was there, I got a Davy Crockett suit for Christmas, but no hat. And I really only wanted the coonskin hat that Davy Crockett had in the movie. My dad took me to the movie Davy Crockett, the King of the Wild Frontier, and I used to have to imagine that this was the Wild Frontier.
Wow.
So I can imagine.
This was your universe then?
Yeah, this is my universe here.
His universe has been restored in a way. A lot of work has been done in parts of the town to preserve the old style and feel of the buildings.
Harry Sweeney, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Former Teddy boy.
Aye, that's right, yeah.
Charlie meets local Barry Sweeney, who has worked with the Heritage Office to help restore many of the buildings around town.
There was work done. You can obviously see the painting that was done, but then things like, if you look at the downpipe behind you,
Yes.
I think this was an aluminium downpipe.
Right.
Up until recently, so it was replaced with a cast iron one.
And you've replaced the windows as well with wooden windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, as they would have been, and as it should be.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing a great job that way.
Yeah.
Charlie has just published a new book about the story of his life, and it also contains songs related to different memories, like this one, Adieu to Ballyshannon.
Adieu to Ballyshannon, where I was bred and born. Go where I may, I'll think of you, as sure as night and morn. The kindly spot, the friendly town, where everyone is known. And not a face in all the place, but partly seems my own. There's not a house or window, there's not a field or hill, but east or west in foreign lands I recollect them still. I'll leave my warm heart with you, but my back I'm forced to turn. Adieu to Ballyshannon on the winding banks of Erne.
In retrospect, we had an idyllic childhood. You went off in the morning and you would come home for your dinner in the summer holidays and you go off again.
In school here in Ballyshannon, you had the brothers and the sisters teaching you.
Yeah, the nuns, the mercy nuns.
Good memories, bad memories?
Some good, some bad. A lot of them bad, because in those days, corporal punishment was the order of the day. But at the same time then, my first big crush was on Sister Rosario. And, I remember she used to always look like she was blushing. To be happy in a school was an unusual thing, but in Sister Rosario's class, you were happy.
Charlie's father had a shop in the town, McGettigan and Sons, and Charlie helped out there, but it was one day he discovered his true passion in life.
My father was putting up a public address system at the local gymkhana, the Danby Horse Show it was known as, and he was testing it out, and he told me to stand. I was 6 or 7 years of age at the time. He said, stand up in front of that thing with the ball on the top of it, and I said, yeah, now give us a song. And I sang, catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. And it was all around the arena on different speakers. And I fell in love with the sound of my own voice. I really said, I want to do this.
I'm the man from 20, kindly form a queue. Those who do remember.
It was from that moment, speaking into the microphone, that Charlie was hooked, and his future in the music industry was sealed.
Got the first guitar, I was about 12 years of age, and played in isolation for a long time. And then one day I fell into step with a fella coming home from school, and it was a man called John Hannigan, a little boy called John Hannigan. We got talking, and he told me he played the guitar.
Yeah.
And I said, oh.
I play the guitar too.
You know, and we met up, and we literally, we lived in each other's pockets for about 2 years, where we formed little bands, little combinations of different musicians.
We grew up together, we shared every dream.
And his old friend and bandmate John Hannigan is around the town today, and the two are sharing memories.
In John and Charlie's good time garage band.
This was a kind of place where we spent a lot of our youth, didn't we? You know, do you remember the records that were out at that time?
Well, first of all, we're talking about a jukebox.
Yes.
Tuppence, was it?
No, yeah, sixpence, then, yeah, and 3 for a shilling.
There used to be a cafe right here with a jukebox, and the two would come and listen to music for hours and try and recreate what they heard in their own bands.
Remember there was a seat there at the window?
Yeah.
We could watch the girls go by.
Jukebox is just across the way.
Yeah.
And got 6 fellas around, 1 plate of chips.
And a Coke. 6 straws.
John and Charlie's good time garage band.
So many good memories of places around Ballyshannon. But then there were the places that seemed strange and off limits to him when he was younger, like the Protestant Church, St. Anne's, where you saw him perform at the beginning.
Colm, you've no idea how good it is to be in this building, because when we were young, growing up here, it was almost forbidden territory. I could imagine and we listened to the bells and we saw the outside of the church, but my imagining was of a dark place where the devil might be.
The Catholics were never allowed
to venture in.
in.
No, we weren't allowed to venture in. And then a few years ago I was asked to do a concert here, and just when I look around at the building, what did we miss?
I'll leave my warm heart with you, though my back I'm forced to turn.
But you sensed that growing up, the two worlds.
They were 2 worlds, but we did work very well together. I always thought the Protestant girls looked much better than the Catholic girls.
Charlie's grandfather helped build what is now the Abbey Art Centre, and back then it was where all the show bands of the day would perform, and Charlie remembers being enchanted watching them on stage.
But this was a very glamorous place because they had Gilbert and Sullivan musical shows here, they had the drama festival every year, and there would be dances here. We went to people here. I think the first time I ever heard Big Tom was here. When he did a concert here.
And Charlie, as a young guy and looking at that world of entertainment and performance, did you
I
look
was
at it and
smitten,
think you were
absolutely smitten.
And little did Charlie know when he was wondering would he ever be singing on the Ballyshannon stage, that one day he would perform in front of 200 million people at the Eurovision Song Contest with Paul Harrington.
There was no pressure. It was the least pressure of anything I've ever done was the Eurovision.
Really?
Yeah, because Paul and myself, we never played it the same way twice. It never sounded, it was always different. And that was mainly because we had a chemistry. Paul would look over the piano at me and I would sort of, that was nice. That was a nice little thing you did there. That was whatever it was, the extra thing.
I remember 62. I was 16 and so were you.
And we lived next door on the avenue.
But surely you must have felt the pressure of the enormity of the crowd in the point, let alone the television audience.
I remember one festival we did was the Ballyshannon Festival, and I was really very, very, very nervous. And this American guy who was on the bill, and he came over to me and he said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I've never played to 8,000 people before." And he said, "I'll give you one bit of advice." And I said, "What?" "Don't forget to enjoy it." And in the Eurovision, that was my policy.
Enjoy it.
And just enjoy it. And God, did I enjoy it.
We were the rock and roll kids. Rock and roll was all we did.
And the next 3 minutes of the reprise were even more enjoyable, because then you were totally relaxed. You had won.
You'd won it.
I was yours and you were mine. That was once upon a time. Now we never seem to rock and roll.
Would you say it changed your life?
Absolutely, in a big way.
We just never seem to rock and roll anymore.
After Eurovision, you know, after about 9 months, you know, you're no longer the subject, you're no longer the centre of attraction.
It's back to hard work to keep the career going in music.
Exactly, you're back to square one again.
You find the feet of a dancer. I hope you can sing in the rain. I hope you find all the easy answers to your pain.
And he always did work hard, because even though Rock and Roll Kids is what Charlie became most famous for, as a songwriter he has penned wonderful songs that other people have made famous, like Feet of a Dancer.
I was working with Maura O'Connell for about 2 years, and she used to come down to the house and I'd be throwing songs at her, but she was poking through this old lever arch file of songs, and she said, Feet of it, how does that go? And I actually had to think. She recorded it and it became a pension.
Find the feet of a dancer. I hope you can sing in the rain. I hope you find all the easy answers to your pain.
His music has touched so many over the years, but it's also helped him through life's highs and heartbreaking lows, like when his son passed away in a construction accident in the US. And in the sadder times as well, Charlie, because I know your son Shane, he passed away. He was only 21 or something?
21, yeah.
21 in the United States.
After he died, maybe about a year after, I wrote a song called I'd Get Excited. And that was, whenever I would see Shane, I would get excited. I would see him in a crowd, you know, that kind of a thing. And I just loved him so much that I got excited when I saw him.
I hope you find the feet of a dancer. I hope you can sing in the rain. I hope you find all the easy answers to your pain. It won't be easy. What can I say?
When I saw him run out on Croke Park playing for Leitrim for the first time, magic, just magic, you know.
You still think about him today?
We don't mourn his loss, we celebrate his memory. You know, that's the way I put it. And the way I try to deal with it, he's in there in a little box, and occasionally I'll open the box. But if you think too much, you know, you get too emotional.
Of a dancer. I hope you can sing in the rain. I hope you find all the easy answers to your pain. And I hope you find love and affection. I hope you find someone who'll care. I hope you find all the right directions everywhere.
And now, at the age of 72 years young, Charlie thinks the best is still ahead.
I keep thinking the best song is yet to come. You know, I'm still writing songs. I write songs all the time, and maybe this is going to be the next big one.
The best is yet to come.
Certainly is. Good to meet you, Colm.
Thank you.